All right, we've been talking about Nvidia for quite some time, so let's follow up on this. We talked about it yesterday when the earnings came out. We've been talking about Nvidia for the last couple of weeks, and not just Nvidia, but the large mega cap tech stocks that have been the driving force behind the stock market performance for the last 2 years, but especially for the last couple of, let's say, 2 months or so. So, what happened? Why did they go down so much? It's not just the Nvidia numbers were not what had been hoped for. It's tariffs. It's a couple of things. It's just profit taking. It's technicals. I'm going to break this down for you, and I'm going to tell you where I think Nvidia stops going down and could maybe build a base and go back up. The AI revolution spending, it's still going to be very strong. But when you start from very high valuations, even a decrease from super strong to just very strong growth all of a sudden is no longer good enough. That is the crux of it, but there's more, and that's what we're going to explore in this stream. So we'll be off in a couple of minutes. So listen up, join me, please. Give me a thumbs up while you're watching this. If you have any questions, ask me in the comments. Words of encouragement in the comments are always appreciated as well. Here we go. All right, we're here. Just adjusting my chair. I know that must have looked pretty funny on camera. Should have adjusted my chair before I started, but it's a little low. Yeah, I'm wearing a nice shirt today. I have an event tonight for ACLD, an agency that helps take care of people with developmental disabilities, and I'm excited. It's poker for a purpose. I don't really play poker, but I go because it's also a great social event and just a great time. It's a really festive event. Definitely something we could use on a day like today in the market, and definitely something that we could use in the winter. And winter's almost over, and I cannot wait. Keep in mind that in a week and a few days, we turn the clocks ahead here in North America. I can't wait for that. That's my favorite day of the year, and I hope we just turn them ahead and never turn them back again. Nvidia, that's the story of the day. So Nvidia just absolutely freaking tanked. The stock has gotten more or less obliterated. This is a second pounding that the stock took since the beginning of this year, and we're only, just 2 months into the year so far. If you recall, a couple of weeks ago, DeepSeek, a Chinese application, it's an app, you could get it on your phone, which is really good with artificial intelligence queries. If you've used Chat GPT or the others, Google has one, Microsoft, actually Microsoft uses Chat GPT, I think, but there's a number of Chat GPT type apps you can use for queries. I'm playing with Chat GPT and I'm actually enjoying it. I think it's actually kind of fun. I asked it to make me a guitar lesson for a song I'm learning how to play, Landslide by Fleetwood Mac. And I'm like, it gave me a lesson and it recommended a really good video for me to watch on YouTube, which actually I've seen that video already. And it is a really good video to watch to learn. So, but DeepSeek can do what the other American apps in artificial intelligence can do for pennies on the dollar, like not like fractions of a penny on the dollar. And so Nvidia tanked, and then it went back up to about 141, 142, and then it went down again. This time, we spoke about this yesterday. I was on with you when the numbers came out, and their margins came down a little bit, not as good as they were. The growth quarter to quarter, year over year, was the slowest it's been in 2 years. And now people are worried and saying, maybe this is as good as it's going to get. That was the reason behind the stock falling today. Microsoft announced that they're going to scale back, the amount of money that they're going to commit to database centers, server farms, things like that. And all of a sudden, people thinking, you know what? We're getting to the point where the spending has been done. It'll continue maybe at the same pace it's been, but it's not more. And you have to understand when you are playing with large mega cap stocks that have gone up this much, the word is always more. What have you done for me lately? And what are you going to do for me tomorrow? And investors looked at it, weren't impressed. And now the worry is that maybe sales have peaked. I don't think sales have peaked for Nvidia by any stretch. The Blackwell chip is just getting started, and that's going to be their next big thing. You've been hearing about this Blackwell chip for like what 2 years, but it's just out now. They've sold about $11 billion worth of these Blackwell chips in the last quarter, and they have a ton more to sell. But is it enough to get the stock up even higher? So here's the thing: this isn't going to be a call on whether or not you should buy Nvidia now, buy, sell, or hold. I know that's what you want, and I think you understand that. I can't really give you that because I don't have a crystal ball. And I know you want like for certain, you should buy the stock right now. And if you're down in the stock, you're worried about it, don't worry about it. You'll be fine. The stock is going to double from here. I know that's what a lot of people want. Some people might want me to say, yeah, get rid of the stock. It's no good anymore and go into something else. Some people would want that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you Nvidia. I'm going to show you some charts. I'm going to give you a ballpark idea of where I think the stock, of how low I think it could go, which could be a good entry point. And then you could either hold on to what you have now, add to it, or buy it for the very first time. Or if you've sold it already, maybe you could buy it back. Okay. Now, I want to start by saying nobody has anything to complain about. Stock has had one heck of a run, one of the biggest winners in stock market history. And you should be up in it. And if you're just a Johnny come lately and you bought it just because of the election, because of enthusiasm for crypto and for the Trump agenda, I mean, the whole stock market went up. Now you're singing the blues because all of a sudden stocks are going down, and anything you may have purchased in the last, let's say, 6 to 8 weeks, there's a really good chance that it's down now. And you're thinking you've got a serious case of buyer's remorse. So let's take a look at the screen. I hope we could do the share screen today. All right, it's not cooperating. All right, that's cooperating. All right, so I'm just going to have to do this by talking through it without the chart. That really sucks, but stick with me. It'll still be good, okay? I'm looking at a chart now on Nvidia, all right? And I'll try to see if we could get the screen share going in a second, but this sometimes happens, but every time I do it, it freezes. All right, maybe this will be good. Okay, is that working? You can see me. I'm up in the corner. All right, we're good. We're good now. All right. But first of all, let's just take a look real quick at how the markets did today. All right. You see this over here. You see that. Dow down 193, down almost 0.5%. S&P continuing its downtrend, down 1.6%. NASDAQ, this is a pretty big hit, down almost 2.8% in the NASDAQ. All right, and we'll take a look why. But the major stocks, without these stocks going up, you're not going to have a stock market that can go up. All right, these Apple down, and that's the best one of the Mag 7. All right, that was down a little over 1.25%, and everything else did worse. Meta down $15, over 2%. Amazon, Netflix, Tesla continues to just get absolutely pounded. Tesla was almost $500 a share. It's almost cut in half from where it was, a month ago. There's a number of reasons for that, for Tesla being down. We could talk about that too. This is not about Tesla, but you have a CEO who's really taking his eye off the ball. You have a company that's putting out cars. They're putting out cars whose models are kind of stale and really need a big update. There's talk that they're having trouble getting batteries. The competition is really strong. International sales are not so great. Domestic sales are not so great. In Europe, Tesla sales are down by something close to 50% year over year. So sales have plunged. And the point of Tesla was that it was never really about the cars. It was about the self-driving technology. But, we're not getting that now either. Maybe we will one day, but it's nothing imminent. And then You have down 8.5% Nvidia, which is just an absolute pounding for a company, any stock, but for a company that big, it really hits the market. So let's make this a little bigger. All right. Let's take a look at the chart. We'll go to the last 3 months. All right. We're gonna have to go back 6 months because we're not. I want to get the election in here. But here's a chart of Tesla. Okay. So in the last 6 months, the stock was 128, and now it's 120. So in the last 6 months, the stock is down. I think everybody thought, oh, it must be up, must be doing so. No, it hasn't really done anything. It's just a lot of volatility. And it went down to as low as like, the low 100s. Right here, 116, that's the deep seek event. All right. And after the election, the stock started to surge right before the election. And earlier this year, it hit 149 and it touched the all-time high of 152. You can see that, right? But 149 on the close, and now down to 120. So where does it go? I'm going to say we have to take it back to right before the election, which is the end of October. It was 132. So it's already broken through that. So we have to go here back to last September when people were really worried about the market and the whole NASDAQ, the tech sector was starting to go down. But around here is probably where you have to see the stock go down to before it's really goodbye. Now, I just want to put this in terms that are more realistic. If you want to buy the stock and you think it's such a great company to buy, the difference between 120 and 102, if you think its stock is going to be a home run from now, is really nothing. So if you really like the stock, you should buy it. If you want to start building a position, doesn't matter where it is, you should buy it. If you want to wait, you're playing the game that you know that the stock that you have some sense that the stock goes lower, then by all means, take that shot. But from a technical perspective, I'm looking at that 102 price. And if we zoom out to a whole year, all right, if we zoom out to an entire year, let's look over here. Froze me up, but a year ago was about 102 also. And I want to just give you the 52 low is 75, so it did touch 75 in the last year, within the last year. So where could it go? I think 102 is a stop. If it breaks below 100, then I think you really just have to question the staying power of the entire artificial intelligence trade. But most of the Trump trade that we've heard about, small caps and technology, that has disappeared. Financials are still holding on. Healthcare is still holding on. But most of everything else, even industrials, that's pretty much all evaporated. Now, I want to share some history with you, and then I'll let you go. I was around in the 2000 tech wreck. I started my career very late 89. So, I've been doing this a long time. And I remember the 90s, how great it was, especially the 97 and after, the last couple of years of the 90s, how great the market was doing, and Yahoo and JDS Uniphase and Lucent and so many other companies that you never hear about anymore. And even though the internet was going to be bigger than anyone thought, and it did become bigger than anyone thought in 2000, the stock still got crushed because there was too much capacity. There was too much fiber optics in the ground. There were too many semiconductor chips. There was too much networking equipment. And it took a while for this stuff to get soaked up. And by the time it started to get soaked up, it was all obsolete. And then companies like Intel became obsolete because they made chips for computers, but that's just like, that's money in, money out. That's not where the growth is. And EMC was a storage company, was the biggest, best storage device company there was for enterprises, for big businesses. But then everything went to the cloud and completely made EMC irrelevant. Company became completely obsolete. So these stocks tanked, and people didn't know who the big winners of the internet would be. Keep in mind, Google and Facebook weren't even invented yet. And when those came out, they were able to put the internet together, and the rest is history. So is that a moment that we're looking at now? Is, like uh, with Nvidia, do we have too many chips outstanding? Is there going to be demand falling? No. Nvidia's got a really good year or two ahead of it. I think the nervousness is that after the next 6 months to a year of chip sales, that it's going to start to decelerate. The growth will be there, but if you're growing at 70 or close to 80% growth in revenues year over year, and now you're only growing 40% year over year 2 years later, the stock is going to be worth a lot less, and investors have to mark that down. So we'll see. So the numbers I'm looking at Nvidia are $102 a share and then 75. Now, doesn't mean that you should put a limit order at 102, and if the stock goes down to 104, you never get hit, and you're going to call me up and get pissed off and say, you missed an opportunity in Nvidia because it did go to where you said. I didn't say it is going there. I'm saying these are the levels where I think if it breaks 102, 75 is the next level. It gives back an entire over a year's worth of gains at that point. And that's what I'm looking at from a technical perspective from the charts. So I hope that helps you with your decision. I think the game, the spending for AI is still going to be robust, but a lot of these companies like Oracle and Microsoft, their fiscal years are ending before the calendar year ends. And when they talk about how much money they're going to spend, a lot of that money that they're going to spend is actually what's already been spent. And if we don't see Microsoft and the other companies come out and say, we're going to even spend more money next year, it would be very hard for me to be very optimistic on the mega cap, AI trade. All right. I wish I'd said all this more clearly. I hope this is making sense, and I hope this helps you out. If you have any questions specifically about your situation, you should give me a call. None of this is buy or sell advice. These are just levels that I'm looking at. And I don't know, what other disclaimer can I throw in here? All right. An index fund you can't invest directly into, but you can invest into a security that tracks or mimics an index fund, right? That helps. All right. I'll see you soon. If there's not a crazy day in the market tomorrow, I won't do the live stream. If there is a crazy day tomorrow, I will do the live stream. All right. If you have any questions, you want to speak with me, just reach out, give me a call, and we'll chat. Thank you.